हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
राम
राम हरे
राम
हरे।
गोविंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवस्ति गौर भक्त बिंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवस्ति गौर भक्त बिंद हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Tuesday. It is 15th of July. The Shravana Masa, Shridhara Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Panchami Tithi. So there is one Vaishnava event today. Today is the disappearance of Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So we shall read a few names about Gopala Bhatta Goswami from this platform. So this is a lecture is given by Giriraj Swami. For Gopala Bhatta Goswami's disappearance day, so here Giriraj Swami is quoting one verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 10, the branches of the Chaitanya tree. Shri Gopala Bhatta Eka Saka Sarvottama Rupa Sanatana Sangye Yara Prema Alapana. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, the 47th branch, was one of the great and exalted branches of the tree. He always engaged in discourses about love of Godhead in the company of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami was son of Venkata Bhatta, a resident of Sri Rangam. Gopala Bhatta formerly belonged to the disciplic succession of Ramanuja Sampradaya, but later became part of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Sampradaya means party. So in the year 1433 Sakabdha, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was touring South India, he stayed 4 months during the period of Chaturmasya at the house of Venkata Bhatta, who then got the opportunity to serve Lord to his heart's content. Gopala Bhatta also got the opportunity to serve the Lord at this time. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami was later initiated by his uncle, the great sannyasi Prabodhananda Saraswati. Both the father and the mother of Gopala Bhatta Goswami were extremely fortunate, for they dedicated their entire lives to the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They allowed Gopala Bhatta Goswami to go to Vrindavana, and they gave up their lives thinking of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Lord Chaitanya was later informed that Gopala Bhatta Goswami had gone to Vrindavana and met Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, he was very pleased, and he advised Sri Rupa and Sanatana to accept Gopala Bhatta Goswami as their younger brother and take care of him. Sri Sanatana Goswami, out of his great affection for Gopala Bhatta Goswami, compiled the Vaishnava Smriti named Hari Bhakti Vilasa and published it under his name. Under the instruction of Srila Rupa and Sanatana, Gopala Bhatta Goswami installed one of the 7 principal deities of Vrindavana, the Radha Ramana deity. The servants or priests of the Radha Ramana temple belong to the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Actually, one of the families entrusted with the deity service at the Radha Ramana temple has a history of relations with the line of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Vishwambhara Goswami's father or grandfather had relations with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. The family maintained relations with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura. And then Vishwambhara Goswami had very friendly relationship with Srila Prabhupada, and he spoke very nicely about Srila Prabhupada. Now, Vishwambhara Goswami's son, Padmanabha Goswami, is also very favorable to ISKCON. In fact, ISKCON devotees often honor Prasada at his home at the Radha Ramana temple. I also took Prasada there with His Holiness Tamala Krishna Goswami, and Padmanabha Goswami showed us a letter that Srila Prabhupada had written to his father Vishwambara Goswami about how all Vaishnavas should cooperate. So not only does the Radha Ramana temple belong to the Gaudiya Sampradaya, but at least some of the servants had close relations with the line of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakura. So when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took permission from all the Vaishnavas before writing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gopala Bhatta Goswami also gave him his blessings, but he requested him not to mention his name in the book. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned Gopal Bhatta Goswami only very cautiously in one or two passages of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Jiva Goswami has written in the beginning of his Tattva Sandarbha, a devotee from southern India who was born of Brahmana family and was a very intimate friend of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami has written a book that he has not compiled chronologically. Therefore, I, a tiny living entity known as Jiva, am trying to assert the events of the book chronologically, consulting the direction of great personalities like Madhvacharya, Sridhar Swami, Ramanujacharya, and other senior Vaishnavas in the disciplic succession. In the beginning of the Bhagavat Sandarbha, there are similar statements by Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami compiled a book called uh, Shatkriya Saradhipika, edited the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, wrote a foreword to the Sad Sandarbha and a commentary on the Krishna Karnamrita, and installed the Radha Ramana deity in Vrindavana. So in the Gaura Ganadesha Deepika 184, it is mentioned that his previous name in the pastimes of Lord Krishna was Ananga Manjari. Sometimes he is also said to have been an incarnation of Guna Manjari. Srinivasacharya and Gopinath Pujari were two of his disciples. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami ki jai. So there is again some pastimes of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, how he in his dream that he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised him to go to the Gandaki river in the Nepal, and then where he has gone, and the 12 Salagrama they have entered into his water pot, and then though it has happened three times, even though he left the Salagram Silas there, and then he took that it is the blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he brought to the Vrindavana there, and he started worshipping those Salagram Silas. And once a merchant has given a very beautiful dress, tiny dresses to Gopal Bhattu Goswami to decorate the deities. But he said, I am having only Salagram Silas, how can I dress them? And then when he was thinking in that way, in that mood, and one night, in order to fit the dress, so one of the Salagram Sila, he turned it into the deity, beautiful Radha Ramana deity that we see today in the calendar, Radha Raman, in the ISKCON calendar. In the month of July 2025, the picture is Radha Raman. So that beautiful picture got formed from that Salagram, manifested from the Salagram Sila. And then later on, that information spread across all the people of Vrindavana, and Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami has appeared there, and then installed the deity in the Radha Ramana deity right now in the temple, whatever is in the Vrindavana. It is one of uh, the famous temples in the Vrindavan. So it is being worshipped by all our sampradayas, and also many people coming for taking darshan of Radharamanji. Okay, so that is about the Radharamana and also Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So there is further information. I will share it in the WhatsApp group later on. Okay, that is from the events perspective. So for now, we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so far Buddha was speaking to Vidura, and later on Uddhava stopped there, and then Sukadeva Goswami stated what has happened after Uddhava spoke. So Sukadeva Goswami said that after hearing from Uddhava, who is Mahabhagavata, then Vidura started inquiring from Uddhava. So Satam Mahabhagavatam Brajantam Kauravarshapah Vishrambhad Abhyartedham Mukyam Krishna Parigrahe Datta Idam Mukyam Krishna Parigrahe. So because Vidura is inquiring from Buddha, because Buddha is the very elevated and advanced in the devotional service. Mukyam is a chief among the devotees. Mukyam Krishna Parigrahe, that is in the devotional service. And also mentioned Mahabhagavatam. Satam Mahabhagavatam Brajantam Kauravashabha. So likewise glorifying Uddhava as the Mahabhagavat and also Mukim, chief in the devotees of the Lord in executing the devotional service. So that is Sukadeva Goswami statement. Now what Vidura is inquiring today is that, so Uddhava, he has mentioned to Vidura saying that I have got the Atmanaha Paramam Siddhim from Krishna. So now Vidura remembers that one, Paramam Siddhim. And now Vidura is inquiring, he is very anxious and he wanted to learn from Uddhava that knowledge, whatever Krishna spoke to Uddhava. So here Vidura is asking Uddhava, can you please explain those knowledge to me? And the devotees of the Lord, they wander around the world to give this knowledge, not transcendental knowledge of Krishna to everyone else, the conditioned souls. Again, those conditioned souls are who are favorable to Krishna. Again, they are also devotees of Krishna. So devotees of Krishna are compassionate to everyone. So likewise, Vidra is inquiring. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 4, verse number 25. Vidravuvacham ज्ञानं परं स्वात्मरहः प्रकाशं यदाह योगेश्वर ईश्वरस्ते वक्तुं भवानोर्हति यद्धि विष्णोः भृत्याः सुभृत्यार्धकृतश्चरन्ति ज्ञानं परं स्वात्मरहः प्रकाशं. So Vidra is inquiring, Vidra Vuvacham. So knowledge is the Jnanam Param, the transcendent knowledge. Swatma Rahaha Prakasham, Swa Atma, regarding the self, Swatma Rahaha, that is mystery, Prakasham, enlightening knowledge, whatever Krishna spoke to, Paramam Sitim, Atmanaha Paramam Sitim, that is Swatma Rahaha Prakasham. Because one has got the transcendental knowledge, he would be able to live alone. He does not need anyone else for his survival, and he will live very happily. It is Atma Ramasya. So Swatmaraha Prakasham Yadaha Yogeshwara Ishwaraste. And Yadaha, which Lord has spoken to you, Yadaha Yogeshwara. The Yogeshwara is the master of all mystics. Ishwaraste, Ishwara, the Lord, say unto you. So Krishna spoke this knowledge. Swatmaraha Prakasham, O Uddhava. Now, Vaktum, can you please narrate that one, Vaktum? Bhavanno, Bhavan, yourself, Naha, onto me. Can you please narrate that knowledge onto me, O Uddhava? Likewise, Arhati, and if you think that I am quite fit, I am deserved to receive that knowledge. Arhati, Yaddihi Vishnoho, Yadhi. So whatever it is, definitely or certainly the reason of Vishnoho. So here Vishnoho Vrutyaha. So Vishnoho Vrutyaha is the servants of Lord Vishnu. So Vrutyardha Krutascharante. So Vrutyardha Krutascharante. So Vrutyardha Krutaha. For the interest of their servants, Charanti, do wander. So these are the devotees of the Lord. Vishnoho Vrutyaha Swabrutyardha Krutascharante. So the devotees of the Lord, they wander around the world to spread Krishna consciousness. And now Vidura knows that one. Devotees of Krishna, they are so merciful. They give all this transcendent knowledge to everyone who are deserved. So Arhati. Arhati is a very important thing. O Uddhava, if you think I am qualified to hear, qualified to receive this transcendent knowledge. Okay, likewise Vidura is inquiring. Jnanam param swatma rahaha prakasham yadaha yogeshwar ishwaraste vaktum bhavanorhati yidhi vishnoho mrutyaha supratyardha krudascharanti. Translation. Vidura said, O Uddhava, because the servants of Vishnu, the Lord, wander in the interest of serving others, It is quite fit that you kindly describe the self-knowledge with which you have been enlightened by the Lord Himself. And purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request any unallocated devotees to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
The servants of the Lord are actually the servants of society. They have no interest in human society other than to enlighten in the transcendental knowledge. They are interested in imparting knowledge of the relationship of the living being with the Supreme Lord, the activities in that transcendental relationship, and the ultimate goal of human life. That's the real knowledge which can help society achieve the real aim of human welfare. Knowledge in the matter of bodily necessities of eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing transform into various branches of advancement of knowledge is all temporary. A living being is not the material body, but an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Being. And this revival of his self knowledge is essential. Without this knowledge, the human life is baffled. The servants of the Lord Vishnu are entrusted with this responsible work, and so they wander over the earth. They wander around the world and to all the planets in the universe. Thus, the knowledge which was received by Uddhav directly from Lord deserves to be distributed in human society, especially to persons like Vidura who are highly advanced in the devotional service of the Lord. Real transcendental knowledge descends in the disciplic succession from Lord to Uddhav, from Uddhav to Vidura, and so on. Such supreme transcendental knowledge is not possible to achieve by the process of imperfect speculation as performed by the so called learned mundane wranglers. Vidura was anxious to know from Uddhav that confidential knowledge known as Param Sthitim, in which the Lord is known by his transcendental pastimes. Although Vidura was older than Uddhava, he was anxious to become a servant of Uddhava in the transcendental relationship. This formula of transcendental disciplic succession is taught by Lord Chaitanya also. Lord Chaitanya advises that one receive transcendental knowledge from anyone, whether a Brahmana or a Shudra or a householder or a sannyasi, provided that the person is factually conversant with the science of Krishna. A person who knows the science of Krishna is factually a bona fide spiritual master. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So in this purport, Prabhupada is describing the servants of the Lord are actually the servants of the society. Because devotees, they wander and give this knowledge. But some people think that, oh, some sannyasi is coming and doing Hare Krishna bhajan, something like that. But actually, they are coming here to relieve one from the clutches of the material entanglement. The shackles of material entanglement, it is very strong. But these sannyasis or devotees of the Lord, they're coming and relieve that shackles from the conditions of the material world and give this knowledge. But those people, they cannot understand. Okay, so and they have no interest in human society other than to enlighten it in the transcendental knowledge. They are interested in imparting knowledge of the relationship of the living being with the Supreme Lord, the activities in the transcendental relationship, and the ultimate goal of human life. So जनस्य कृष्ण बिंबस्य देवद अधर्मशीलस्य सुलिखितस्य अनुग्रहेह चरन्ति नूनं भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दनस्य. Again same. So right now Vidura is saying to Buddha the similar kind of statement that devotees of the Lord, they wander and to enlighten. Again later on Buddha instructs Vidura to go to the Maitri Rishi, and then there again Vidura uh, try to glorify Maitri Rishi in the similar way. So, because first of all, pleasing them is very important, because when they are pleased and their mental condition is proper and situated and relaxed, they can speak the transcendental knowledge onto the people who are he's hearing. So, and it is knowledge of Krishna. It is meant for everyone. So that is the real knowledge which can help the society achieve the real aim of human welfare. Real aim of human welfare. So, knowledge in that matter of the bodily necessities of eating, sleeping, mating, and feeding transformed into various branches of advancement of knowledge. All is temporary. So, as of now, we are trying to ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha samanyam etat pasbihi naranam. It is common activity for the human beings and animals also. It does not need education. Even animals doesn't go to the schools to learn how to eat, how to sleep, how to mate, how to fear, how to defend themselves. So it comes naturally. We do not need all the things. We need to go to school to acquire the transcendental knowledge, not the bodily things. By looking at the parents, we know how to eat. By looking at everyone else, we know how to sleep. May sleep automatically. Body, as soon as body gets tired and close the eyes, automatically sleep. It does not need. It is just only the people are increasing the comforts, and it is a temporary need, permanent inconvenience. That is the nature of this material world. Everyone is trying for that. He wanted to buy one object, but that object at the moment it may be useful for a moment, and later on it become an impediment in the home. We need to maintain it, clean it, always getting dusted. But in the Krishna consciousness, we don't need to get all comforts. As much as possible, live very simple with as much necessary utensils or things in the objects in the home. That makes the life very easy. Easy maintenance, simple living, high thoughts, engaging our energy, life in the actually service of the Lord. It is in complete spiritual knowledge, spiritual services. When we are associating with the devotees, that is where a living entity to living entity. That is where the relationship needs to be established, not with the material objects. We never buy the objects unnecessarily unless it is engaged in the service of the Lord. So all these are all temporary. A living being is not the material being, not the material body, but an eternal part and parcel of the supreme being, and thus revival of his self-knowledge is essential. So this is when Krishna says that um, Mamaiva, what? ममैवांशो जीवो लोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनसस्तानि इन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति. The living entities are my part and parcels. They are coming to this material world and then struggling for their existence. Manasastani indriyani prakriti karshati. Karshati is the struggling for existence. Prakristani. But actually, if they know that I am the part and parcel of Krishna, the Supreme Father, then he does not have to struggle. So that is what the self-knowledge that is essential. When a son, his father is very rich, and if he is doing on his own, going outside and trying to get some earn very hard, it is not needed for him. If he goes to his father, he will get all kinds of facilities. He will be maintained very nicely. That is the knowledge, knowing that I am the part and parcel of, I am the son of my Supreme Father, likewise. So without this knowledge, the human life is baffled. Okay, so that's why one has to remember Krishna all the time. Um, this is again Sabavre Atilitam Smritim Yaya. Dhruv Maharaj also mentions that I wanted to remember Krishna, remembering the Father. And then when we remember the Father and home, we know wherever we are, Dautatma Krishna Padamulam Namuchati, Dautatma Purusha Krishna Padamulam Namuchati, Mukta Sarup Pariklesha Pantaha Swasaranamyata, and wandering everywhere, being baffled. And as soon as he knows that I have got home and I have got my Supreme Father Krishna, and once he comes there, then he does not go. That is the knowledge he should be having. And so when we are going outside of our home for something, and if we forget about our home and our relatives, then we are baffled. If we remember that one still, then we are in the safe position. So in the similar, that is materially we are feeling that, but what to speak of the transcendental, the spiritual thing, which is eternal knowledge. Okay, so that is how one should not be baffled by remembering Krishna. The servants of the Lord Vishnu are entrusted with his responsible work, and so they wander over the earth and to all other planets in the universe. So, like this is the Nitya Siddhas, Krupa Siddhas, likewise, devotees of the Lord, they wander. And then, like our Srila Prabhupada, so some people, Karana Janma, they have got particular purpose to appear in this planet. We call them as the Karana Janma. There is a purpose behind each and every living in. Some people are trying to fulfill their desires, very busy in eating their results of their activities. But some of them are there to give the transcendental knowledge. Okay, so though initially it may be bitter, but later on, which is going to be nectar. So that is transcendental knowledge. Okay, the knowledge which was received by Buddha directly from the Lord deserves to be distributed in human society, especially to persons like Vidura, who are highly advanced in devotional service of the Lord. This is unless one is inclined to or favorable to the devotees of the Lord and rendered some service to Krishna, they cannot get this knowledge, transcendental knowledge. This is again there Jarabharata mentions to Rahuguna, saying that Rahuguna aided this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge, no one can easily receive, not by studying the Vedas, not by worshipping the deities in the temple, or not by performing the austerities, by keeping the fire around oneself, and also taking the dip in the water and performing these things. Vina Mahatpada Radhobhishekam, rendering some service to the devotees of the Lord. Then he would receive this kind of love, um, Krishna Prema. This is Susurusha Sradhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi Syanmasya Vipraha Punyatidhini Shevanat. One has to render some service to the devotees of the Lord who are trying to give this transcendental knowledge of Krishna. Then we will also receive that knowledge, Krishna Prema. And then we will immerse ourselves in that one. Okay, so this is eternal knowledge. So for time being, we may be doing Vidhi Bhakti, performing, following rules and regulations. So that is needed as much as when we are conditioned and when we have got home responsibilities, work duties, and children, family, it is needed. But in due course of time, they will go away. No one will care about us. When we are just like Kina Shayog Bhojaram, Kina Shayog Bhojaram. Like a farmer, once the bull is old and he does not care for the bull. Likewise, when a person he is no more useful to the family, no one will look after us. At that time, this transcendental knowledge will help us. It is eternal. Knowing that it is eternal, it will come at we will not feel any lamentation, even though no one is adoring us. So real transcendental knowledge descends in the disciplic succession from the Lord to Uddhava, and from Uddhava to Vidura, and so on. So later on, Vidura, he goes to the again Hastinapura, where Dhritarashtra and Gandhari and Pandavas are there. He enlightened with his knowledge. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they both got liberation just by the association of Vidura. So such supreme transcendent knowledge is not possible to achieve by the process of imperfect speculation as performed by the so-called learned mundane wranglers. They will put more troubles, mundane wranglers, unnecessarily. So Vidura was anxious to know from the Uddhava that confidential knowledge known as Paramamsitim, in which the Lord is known by his transcendental pastimes. This is Paramamsitim. And although Vidura was older than Uddhava, he was anxious to become a servant of Uddhava in the transcendental relationship. So here, Vruddhan Dashardhavaisu Viditatma Tattvan. So Vruddhan Dashardhavaisu, this is the statement used for addressing the four Kumaras. So here, Buddha is the elevated devotee as well. And here, Vidura wanted to inquire from Buddha. So this formula of transcendental disciplic succession is taught by Lord Chaitanya also. And he advises that one disciplines knowledge from anyone, whether a Brahmana or a Sudra or householder or sannyasi, provided the person is factually conversant with the science of Krishna. Ye Krishna Tattvavet Sei Guru Haya. So this Prabhupada used to say this number of times from Chaitanya Charitam. Who knows? Ye Krishna Tattvavet Sei Guru Haya. He is the Guru, actual Guru. Shatkarmo Nipunot Mantra Tantra Visharadaha. Vaishnava Guru Nasyad. Swapacho Vaishnava Guru. So even the Brahman is perfect in the transcendent knowledge of Shat Karmas. But if he is not a Vaishnava, then he cannot become a Guru. But if he is a Vaishnava, and though he is born in the Chandala family, Swapacho, Vaishnava Guru, he can become the spiritual master. A person who knows the science of Krishna is factually a bona fide spiritual master. But that knowledge comes from the Guru Parampara. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajashyo Viduhu. Okay, so otherwise, if Sampradaya Vihina Mantram te Nishpalam Mataha. But if the one is chanting some mantra or some mantra, then if it is Sampradaya Vihina, if it is not coming from the bona fide spiritual succession, then Mantram te Nishpalam Mataha. And it does not yield the good results. So that's why, but Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, this is Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra means either knowingly or unknowingly one chance he will be benefited. In due course of time, he will get that bona fide, mercy of bona fide spiritual masters in due course of time. Okay, that is Maha Mantra. After Maha Mantra only brings the conditioned souls needed to the devotees and then make him as bona fide later on. Okay, so that is Krishna consciousness. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is describing here. A person who knows science of Krishna is factually a bona fide spiritual master. So that's why Vidra inquiring from Uddhava. Jnanam param swatma rahaha prakasham yadaha yogeshwar ishwaraste vaktum bhavanor hati yadi vishnoho mrityaha sokrityardha pratascharanti. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Haigriva, September 26th, 1970, Calcutta. Can I request another unallocated devotee to read this letter, please? I shall read it, please. My dear Haigriva, please accept my blessings. I have received your letter of September 11th, 1970 and have noted the contents. It is nice that you are personally managing New Vrindavana now. And I am sure that everything is progressing nicely just to the standard. So for the present, just continue in this way. Krishna will give you all intelligence how to do it. Regarding Mr. Ginsburg's article, yes, it may appear if it is followed by an adequate refutation, but kindly make the refutation very strong, then that will be nice. I am adding some points that you may elaborate on. First point, as you state, Krishna is identical with his name. That means that his name has the same qualities as himself. That is Sat Chit Ananda. No mundane vibration is eternal. Otherwise, why does it grow tiresome and have to be changed every other week? Nor do mundane songs produce real knowledge or bliss unending. Also, this transcendental vibration purifies one. Anyone can see practically how our students are becoming purified. But the chanters of material songs are not purified. And the second point, Ginsburg says these words are physical in a frankly physical universe. But this is not true, for actually everything is spiritual. It is only under certain conditions, with forgetfulness of Krishna, that this internal or spiritual energy of Krishna becomes material. Therefore, when we hear the name Krishna, which is identical with Krishna, we must remember, and in that way everything is purified. And number 3, so Tennyson may have felt something when he chanted Tennyson, but does anyone else? Does Ginsberg want to chant Tennyson, Tennyson? But everyone enjoys chanting Krishna. That means there is something different about his name. He is the center of everything and everything. Everyone and everything. Fourth point, Krishna explains in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that there are 4 classes of men who approach him. There are millions of men in distress, searching for money, or curious, or searching for knowledge. But only few come to Krishna, and all of them are Mahatma, simply because they have come to the right place, Krishna. That is not by chance, but due to their past pious deeds. No one can approach Krishna without being purified. So this is the process. But no matter what the original motive, if one actually comes to Krishna, he is Mahatma. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms it that if someone follows all the rules and regulations very nicely but does not come to Krishna, it is useless. And similarly, if someone comes to Krishna and even if he doesn't he doesn't follow very nicely, he is perfect. Also, Bhagavad Gita 7:19 says that the wise man after many births come to know that Krishna is everything. So Krishna is central. So we may begin our chanting with some motive, but that is not the final stage. Love of Krishna is final. And how can we develop that unless we are chanting and thinking of Krishna? Number 5, some analyst or priest or lover may widen the consciousness from this to that, but only Krishna is without limit and therefore can widen the consciousness infinitely. That is the difference. The material world has varieties of this and that, this thing more than that thing, but only Krishna is without limit. And if we desire Ananda, bliss, unending, we must go to Krishna. Hare Krishna cannot be compared to any sexual cry because the sexual cry is a call for some partner to come satisfy the caller's desire. That means it is sense gratification. When we chant Hare Krishna, we are calling to Krishna to please let us serve you. So on the spiritual platform, it is a service that is desired, but on the material, it is sense gratification that is sought. The rest of the points, I think you can cover nicely. Hope this meets you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please, I request the devotees, any comments on this Prabhupada's letter to Haigriva? Okay, so in this...
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, yes.
I can cover, I think other people can do the others. Maybe I can start with the first one. This letter is written by Prabhupada and thanking, I don't know who it is, that thanking for managing the new Brindavan temple very nicely, and she's very satisfied with all the progress and everything. And then he's adding some points that, he's emphasizing that by taking the name of the Lord is same as Krishna himself. So we have to chant properly because Krishna is Satchit Anand, is eternal and happy all the time. The satisfaction that we get in chanting, just taking his name, will give us a lot of satisfaction compared to singing the songs of some other material, songs that we sing. It's better than that. So he's put a lot of emphasis on taking Krishna, because Krishna's name, because he says the form is same as the name is same as the form. Thank you. Do you want me to do another one or just?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, please go on.
I think that with the second one, if I'm not mistaken, that's Allen Ginsberg, isn't it? Who was conversing a lot with Prabhupada, and Allen Ginsberg is saying that he's saying that the words are just physical, doesn't mean much and everything, but here Prabhupada is saying that, the words have a lot of strength and power in it, and that will actually basically save us. The words here he says is identical to Krishna, and that way we will be purified. And if we take anybody else's name and if we keep on chanting somebody else's name, we are not going to get that much strength or purification. So point 2 and 3 is all about chanting Krishna's name and keeping Krishna at the center of everything we do. In point 4, he explains that there are 4 types of people who approach him. People who are in distress, so that's the first time they may start thinking of Krishna. The second one is when they want some material desires, like money, they want, satisfaction for that. They're seeking for material glory, so they will look for Krishna. Third set of people are people who are just curious. They don't know what it's all about, but they are just curious, and then they want to know a little bit of Krishna. And the fourth set of people are who are really serious about getting some knowledge, and then they want to study a lot more about Krishna and get to know him. So and then he's saying that everyone who comes to Krishna are called Mahatmas. In chapter BG chapter 7:19 says that wise man after many births comes to know that Krishna is everything. So we get a human form after many millions of years, and once we get it, sometimes it's all due to Krishna's mercy, and we have to use that human form to know Krishna if we can, rather than just the usual thing that you mentioned, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. So Krishna is central there. Krishna is without limit. He's unlimited. He can his form is unlimited. His names, he's got so many names. He's just without any limit. So therefore can widen the consciousness infinitely. So Krishna is just everything without limit compared to us. And so if we desire the Satchitanand state, we have to go to Krishna. And for the last one, it's just we can't keep on satisfying our sense gratification all the time. We have to let go of our sense gratification and chant Hare Krishna. And you talked about crying for Krishna yesterday. So call to Krishna, cry for Krishna, and that will take us to him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully explained. Thank you so much. Any other comments, dear devotees?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji. Mataji has explained very, very nicely. I just 2 points stuck.
Prabhuji, I'm not a good speaker. I was just slowly saying, but thank you to you. Just fill in whatever I missed, and I'm sure I missed so much. Thank you.
I'm not feeling Mataji. I'm just something stuck with me when the Prabhuji was reading the letter. 2 things is for personally I found very touching. We should keep Krishna in middle of everything we do, and chanting is none as chanting is the sound is the Krishna himself. These 2 things come into my ear and stuck with me. Haribol Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So that is keeping Krishna in the center and always chant that Krishna is the absolute. यावानहं यथा भव यद्रूपगुणकर्मकः तथैव तत् विज्ञानम् अस्तु ते मदनुग्रहात्. That transcendent knowledge Krishna gives to the devotees everything. ज्ञानं परमगुह्यं यद्विज्ञानं समन्वितं स रहस्यं तदङ्गं च गृहाण गणितं मया. So that Krishna's name, it is absolute. Kalikale, so in this age, so Krishna appears in the Nama Avatara. Okay, so again, for one statement he mentions about the Mahatmas. Mahatmas, they are whoever comes to Krishna, they're all called Mahatmas. Mahatmanastu mampardha dailim prakritim asritaha bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. Jnatva bhutadim avyayam. So they understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mahatmanastu mampardha. They think that me is the supreme, avyayam, jnatva bhotadim avyayam, bhajanti ananya manaso, they will take to the devotional service and they do bhajanti ananya manaso. So likewise, satadam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dhruvrataha, namasyantasya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate, every day they nitya yukta upasate. Namasyantasya mam, every day they offer obeisances unto me, they worship me, madvishna, darshana, puja, stuti, abhivandanaihi, bhuteshu madbhavanaya, satvena, asangamena cha. Without any material contamination, they come and worship me in a pure, with pure hearts. This is my devotee. They're all Mahatmas. It is not by some kind of political some giving some kind addressing them as Mahatma, something like that. You achieve some kind of freedom for the country. That is not Mahatma as per Bhagavad Gita. Whoever comes to Krishna, they are Mahatmas. Okay, so that is Prabhupada is mentioning here about the Mahatma. So simply they have to come to the right place. So this is few things to reflect. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Siddharlabha. Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so that's why we always chant Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manasmaridhyacha Mayarpita Manobuddhir Mam Yevaishasi Asamsaya. Always keep on chanting, Krishna, Krishna like that. So attaining love of Krishna is the final one. That is the highest stage. This is Madhurya Rasa. So again, there are different rasas in the loving relationship with Krishna in the absolute transcendental platform. That we need to go to the highest one. This is Krishna Prema. Madhurya Rasa is for the different mellows again. Okay, so there are many points are there, but due to the time, okay, so we just conclude it here with the 12 paragraphs letter. Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter, Srila Prabhupada teacher. So no more sense gratification, only Krishna's service is the highest one. Okay, from the announcements point of view, so today we have got a preaching practice session at 8 p.m. And also today, it is also Meena Mataji's birthday. We all wish you Hare Krishna birthday, Mataji, Meena Mataji.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, please give blessing.
Wish you a very Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
May you stay at the lotus feet of the Lord eternally and stay
Thank you.
healthy and keep engaged in the service of the Lord. Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
shall we just say 3 Haribol to Mataji for his birth, for her
Thank
birthday?
you.
Haribol.
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 Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everybody. You make my day. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Meena Mataji, she is very learned, she is very humble, she has got so much, she does so much service, but like very quietly and all, she doesn't speak a lot. And that's why Lord has so blessed her so much. She's been to almost all the dhams of Vishnu dhams, Krishna's places and all, everybody. And we learn so much when she comes from a yatra. So she's very blessed devotee of the Lord. And we are very fortunate to have you in our Sangha, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Lovely, Meena Mataji. Please tell us more when you go anywhere. Thank you.
No, I am not like everybody. Yeah.
We will receive blessings from Meena Mataji this evening at 8 p.m. It is eager to wait to hear Mataji. So preaching at 8 o'clock.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, have you confirmed your, like, now you coming or not on the Ratha Yatra?
Not sure, Prabhuji. So it is not yet confirmed from my side.
Okay. So it would be nice if all the devotee comes there and then we can get together and see each other, because we don't get the opportunity to meet our Sangha members. So it will be nice if we, or whoever is coming, I mean, then we can get together and see in one place. That would be nice. Very good.
Yes, Prabhuji. That will be
Hare
wonderful.
Krishna Prabhu, do you have any Devashish Prabhu, any plans where you're meeting or anything? We have, but still hope we make it, because it's far. It takes 2 hours. So let's see. Any plans have you got, like, for Sangha devotee? Because yesterday I wasn't there, so I don't know if there was any announcement.
No, Mataji, that's why I'm trying to organize, like, and asking everyone if anyone is coming, then we can plan, or everyone suggest somewhere, because this time is a little bit different route, and we can maybe at the end or the starting somewhere we can get together and we can kirtan and go with the Rath all together. That would be nice.
Okay, yeah. All right. I think we might not be there by the beginning. If you don't reach by 12, then we can join at the end. We can contact one of you.
Yeah, I would prefer the end as well, because I'm doing other things in the beginning, so the end would be better for me. After 3 maybe or something.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. So that means at the end is Trafalgar Square, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Trafalgar Square, yes.
Yeah. All right. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. I'm from beginning, so yeah, probably we can meet in Hyde Park.
Mataji, please check if it's Hyde Park or not. This time is a bit
No.
changed, so we
Oh,
can.
today. Okay. Where is it then? This time?
I haven't checked properly, but I know that is not.
There is a route. Shall I post the route?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji. Yes.
yes, because I was always thinking about Hyde Park.
Okay, I'll try and find and post the route.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So it may be very nice when you're having the prasadam, maybe at the time devotees may meet. Okay. So thank you so much, all the devotees, for sharing your updates. Okay, so if you're happy, we shall conclude and continue further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Namo Namo.
अनन्तकोटिवैष्णवेन्दुकी जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Thank you.
Conscious day, everyone.